I'm Jenna, and I'm going to be refuting Allison's speech about water recycling. And her proposition was that water recycling is a viable alternative to water rationing in homes. With our drought here in California, we're in need of a solution to the dwindling supply of water. Water recycling, the process of treating wastewater, storing, distributing, and reusing the water, has been proposed as a solution to the drought, along with water rationing, the restriction of water given for use within a designated time period. While I don't agree with restricting water, I don't agree with recycled water. My proposition is that while water recycling might be beneficial to the drought in California, its unsanitary and costly conditions would be harmful to California residents. My opponent's first claim was that water rationing is an inadequate solution to California's statewide drought. And my first supporting claim is that water recycling is a costly project. To ration water would not only save us water, but it would save us money as well, because water recycling is a completely different system than what we use currently, and it'll take a lot of work and money to change that system. According to Water and Waste Digest, there is a rough estimate of $10 to $20 million to even accommodate facilities and to create the water recycling system. Also, miles and upon miles of pipe must be laid for the use of this reclaimed water. And apart from the initial expenses, it'll cost 80 cents per 100 cubic feet to produce this recycled water. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but every household uses more than that much daily, so it adds up. My opponent's second and third claims were that water recycling will reduce the use of water in residential homes and that reclaimed water mitigates water shortages in residential areas. And both these claims kind of lack controversy. They merely just state facts. And water recycling will reduce water usage because you're just using the same water. So I'm going to discuss the current controversies that come with water recycling. My second claim is that the cleanliness of reclaimed water is harmful to the reclaimed water consumers' health. The test for the safety of recycled water comes back positive 99.9% of the time, but that gives a failure rate of 1 in 100 people, and that exposes thousands, even millions, to a biohazard. The recycled water will include human liquid waste, hormones, pharmaceutical byproducts, and other harmful chemicals discharged in sewage. And chlorination fails to treat all parasites in reclaimed water, 2 of which are Giardia and Cryptosporidium, diseases commonly spread throughout the use of recreational water. As said in the article Issues in Potable Reuse, a large number of compounds may be present in reclaimed water, and we don't have tests for them, so it would be impossible to test for the sanity of the water. According to an article on publicmedcentral.com, disinfection by chlorination, an important part of wastewater treatment, it initially lowers the numbers of sewage-related bacteria, but may substantially increase the proportions of antibiotic resistance and potentially pathogenic organisms. Apart from my opponent's speech being uncontroversial, towards the end it started to get confusing for the audience. At the end of her argument, my opponent begins to talk about the lack of water resources, which is something that should have been left out entirely or somehow stated at the beginning of her speech when she talked about the drought in California. The misplaced statement about water resources only managed to further confuse the audience. My opponent's argument argues uncontroversial and indisputable points. Water recycling will reduce water usage, but what is controversial is the California residents' disdain or acceptance of water recycling. Recycling water is a good idea to help solve the drought that we have here in California, but there are too many factors that lead to its downfall, with the physical health of Californians outweighing all. Thank you.
Okay, you labeled the claim clearly. You're primarily working on counterclaims that deal with the drawbacks of water recycling as a way to address those particular claims. In a policy argument, most of your claims would clearly be relevant. I think you need to work a little bit to make them apply to the argument on the issue of fact. Cost issues, for instance, certainly become a reason why we would or would not do a policy or would refrain from doing a particular policy. But, for instance, how does it fit into the claims that the advocate's presenting? I'm not exactly sure. The better argument, I think, on the safety of the water or potential negative effects, because that's one of the issues that would be a justification since it's water quantity and quality that we're concerned with. I think that applies a little bit more directly, but I still think you need to explain how it addresses the issues that the advocate presents. At the end, you're kind of making a critique of the argument that the advocate presented instead of a refutation on it. And what you need to do, if you really feel that way, what you ought to do is kind of paraphrase what the whole argument is and then explain how your issues respond to those arguments. Her position is that we have water shortages, rationing's inadequate to solve it, and recycling would fix it. Okay, well, let's talk about the water shortages. Whether or not they exist or don't exist, or whether or not we're doing anything about them. Let's talk about whether or not rationing is necessary or unnecessary. And then finally, the one issue that you really do respond to is whether or not recycling would be effective, and your primary reasons that it would be ineffective have nothing to do with whether or not it would provide sufficient amounts of water, but rather costs and safety issues. And like I said, I think they're both relevant, but they could be made more relevant if you develop the argument that way. Excuse me.